The real tragedy playing out here is no longer the coronavirus, but the lockdown itself, because this lockdown is going to cost many more lives than it can possibly save. This is a hard truth to speak, and it's an even harder truth to hear, but it is a truth that must be spoken. We have to end the lockdown crisis, and we have to end it now.
The Democratic Alliance has officially broken ranks of the national unity of the parties in Parliament on the lockdown. Interim DA leader John Steenhuisen says the extended lockdown by President Cyril Ramaphosa isn't working. The party started with its failed attempt to fight the ban on cigarettes. Now the party has escalated its discontent around the lockdown.
We also know that our country's economy could only withstand a very limited freeze. This is why the lockdown originally had an end date. 3 weeks is what it was going to take to source equipment, to get hospitals ready, and to train doctors and nurses in COVID protocols.
The DA says it's speaking on behalf of South Africans when it says there's a growing impatience. It says that's why they are no longer obeying the laws of the extended Level 4 lockdown.
Level 4 of the lockdown, as it turns out, is hardly different from Level 5. In fact, in many respects, it is more restrictive and not less. We now have a military curfew enforced by more than 75,000 armed soldiers, which we didn't have under Level 5. And even our shopping hours have been reduced instead of expanded. This wasn't progress towards a more open society and economy at all. It was simply an extension of the hard lockdown, but this time with no final deadline in sight.
Steenhuisen also says there's abuse of citizens by the state and power is now centralized around a few.
These rules are increasingly met with resistance and in some cases outright civil disobedience. If you want people on your side, you have to treat them with the respect that they deserve. You have to treat them like adults. Instead, we have seen our citizens treated like common criminals. We have seen people abused and humiliated in the streets and in their properties by members of the police and the army.
The DA went on to state a well-known sad reality, saying South Africans will lose their jobs during the extended lockdown. Samke Lemasego, SABC News, Johannesburg.